Boom Boys here. Today we're going to talk about this little thing I got on the back of the boat here. We use this to catch more hybrid bass, striped bass, and white bass. It is called a plopper, fish attractor, or a splasher, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about what it is, how we use it, and man, really does it help us catch more fish. Stay tuned. So if you've been wondering what are on the back of some of these boats, a lot of guides use this. If there's a guide fishing for striped bass, hybrid bass, or white bass, most likely he's got one of these on the back of the boat. Now all it is a trolling motor with a special prop on it. It's a different prop. We took the prop off this trolling motor and it's got this special prop on it. I actually bought this prop from a taxidermist. I have no clue who he is or even his information. I've looked for it and I cannot find it at all. You can actually buy one of these through Gray Line bait tanks. So now let's show you a little bit of what it looks like in the water actually working. So as you can see here, as it's going through the water, it makes a plopping sound. And what this is, it acts as a fish attractor and it brings in the fish and it keeps the fish under your boat. It's not too loud, but it makes just enough noise where if you're anywhere from 8 foot of water all the way to 60 foot of water, the fish can't hear it and it does attract the fish. Let's talk a little bit about how we use this plopper in our boat. We use this plopper every single time we go fishing for hybrid bass, striped bass, or white bass. Does it work? Absolutely. If there's one thing in our boat that we would not leave without besides our fishing poles and maybe my boys, because it does catch more fish. Now what it does is it doesn't actually put you on the fish, but once you find the fish and you put this thing in the water, it will keep the fish under your boat as it's going and the fish just start stacking up. Many times you'll turn this off and the fish will just disappear. So yes, this thing does work. Now let's talk a little bit about my setup here on this boat. I've got a $15 trolling motor here. I wish it was a little bit nicer because it doesn't adjust good enough as far as the speed on it. I would like to have a better variable speed. And actually I run this thing backwards because in reverse, it runs a little bit slower. So as you can see in this video right here, it's going backwards. And so it's not going with the cup like it's designed to. Now it doesn't make as loud as a splash as it would be if you were going with the cup, but it works really, really well for us. And I think it makes a really, really good sound that attracts the fish. So how do I have it installed on my boat? Now there's many ways I've seen these installed on boats. I've actually got it on a talon right here. And all I do is press this button, let it go in the water just a little bit like that. And then all you have to do is turn it like that. That's going forward. Now I'm gonna go backwards. That's all it is, guys, just like that. You can hear that sound like that. That will attract fish. Now, what's crazy is I remember growing up, you know, with my dad, and it's like, be quiet, can't make a noise. And now we fish with splashers and thumpers and all these things, making commotion in the water. Now, if you don't know what a thumper is, I've done a video on a thumper that I'll leave in the description below, and that's another fish attractor. Now, that's a lot different than this splasher because the thumper we only use in certain times of the year. Again, the splasher we use 12 months out of the year because it works all throughout the year. But a thumper, we only typically use in the wintertime and also fishing greater than 20 feet. Well guys, that is our splasher. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you do not have one of these and you're fishing for striper, white bass, or hybrid bass, this is a must get, guys. Again, you can find a blade for this at Gray Line bait tanks. I'm not affiliated with them. That's not even the one I use. I do know people that have them and they do really well. They work really well. The one I got is just some random guy I found on the internet, and it's so long ago I don't even remember where I got them from. I looked on my credit card receipts, couldn't even find the guy. And I know those Gray Line bait tank splashers work really, really well because a lot of the guides that I've seen, they've got them on their boats and they catch a lot of fish too. Well guys, I hope this video helps you out. Be sure to check out, we have a lot of other videos fishing for hybrid bass, white bass, and striped bass, and we try to give you just about all of our tips and techniques that we learn here on the water, share them with you guys so you guys can have success the next time you're on the water. Thanks for watching guys, and we'll see you next time.